We're going to start by learning a very useful expression to get us into the past, and it's an expression that means I have just done something. I have just done something. I've just eaten something. I've just seen someone. So I have just. And the expression is acabo de. Acabo de. So A-C-A-B-O, one word, and then de, D-E. So acabo de, I have just. It more or less, acabar means to finish. So I have just, acabo de, acabo de. And after the de, we use the infinitive, the to-do word. So I have just eaten is acabo de comer. Acabo de comer. Acabo de comer. Don't worry too much about the grammar of this expression. Just think of it as that, as an expression. So, acabo de beber. I have just drunk something. And as it comes from an AR verb, you have just would be acabas de. He or she has just would be acaba de. They have just would be acaban de. So how would you say I have just done it? I have just done it. Acabo de hacerlo. Acabo de hacerlo. I have just done it. Acabo de hacerlo. How would you say, I have just seen an accident? I have just seen an accident. Acabo de ver un accidente. Acabo de ver un accidente. How about they have just gone out? They have just gone out. Acaban de salir. Acaban de salir. Okay, now a long one. They have just told me that they can't come until tomorrow. They have just told me that they can't come until tomorrow. And remember the word for that is que, Q-U-E, no accent. So they have just told me that they can't come until tomorrow. What would that be? Acaban de decirme que no pueden venir hasta mañana. So, acaban de decirme, they have just told me, que no pueden venir, that they can't come, hasta mañana, until tomorrow. A very useful phrase to use in Spain or Latin America is to say, I've just ordered. If you are in a cafe or a restaurant and a waiter takes your order and then another one comes back, it's quite difficult sometimes to explain that you've already given your order. So we want to say, I've just ordered. And the word for to order is pedir. P-E-D-I-R. Pedir, to order. So how would you say, I have just ordered? Acabo de pedir. Acabo de pedir. Let's go back to the beginning a moment. How do we say I have? Tengo. Tengo. So I have is not tengo, as it might be, as to have is tener. We would expect I have to be tengo, but it's actually tengo. It's got a G in there. And there are a few irregular I do verbs that end in go rather than just o. So in go rather than just o. And we're going to focus on the 5 go irregulars. The 5 go irregulars. To come is venir, but I come is not beno, but vengo. Vengo. V-E-N-G-O. Vengo. To go out is salir, but I go out is salgo. Salgo. G-O. Salgo. To do is hacer, but I do is hago. H-A-G-O. Hago. And one new verb, which is the verb to put, poner, P-O-N-E-R, poner, and I put is pongo, a nice word, pongo, P-O-N-G-O, pongo. So, to repeat, I come is vengo, I go out is salgo, I do is hago, and I put is pongo. So our 5 irregular I go verbs, the go verbs, they just apply to I do something, so the go verbs. So how would we say I go out with friends when I can? I go out with friends when I can. Salgo con amigos cuando puedo. Salgo con amigos cuando puedo. How about I do it when I can? I do it when I can. Lo hago cuando puedo. Lo hago cuando puedo. How about I don't come here much. I don't come here much. No vengo aquí mucho. No vengo aquí mucho. What about I put it where I can see it? I put it where I can see it. Lo pongo donde puedo verlo. Lo pongo donde puedo verlo. And what about using the infinitive poner in this sentence? I've just put it in the garage. I've just put it in the garage. Acabo de ponerlo en el garaje. Acabo de ponerlo en el garaje. Acabo de ponerlo en el garaje. The word for to go is a very short little word, ir, I-R, ir. So to go, ir. How would we say, he wants to go to Spain, but he can't speak Spanish? He wants to go to Spain, but he can't speak Spanish. Quiere ir a España, pero no habla español. Quiere ir a España, pero no puede hablar español. How about, it's important to go to Spain if you want to speak Spanish. It's important to go to Spain if you want to speak Spanish. Es importante ir a España si quieres hablar español. Es importante ir a España si quieres hablar español. How about, I'm going to go to Valencia tomorrow. I'm going to go to Valencia tomorrow. Voy a ir a Valencia mañana. Voy a ir a Valencia mañana. And just a word about the pronunciation of Valencia, the pronunciation of the letter C. It will usually be a k sound, as in coche, but if it's an I or an E after the letter, then it's pronounced th. So whenever you have an I or an E after the letter C, that letter C is pronounced th, like a th. In Latin America, it's pronounced like a s, like an S. In Spanish, a th. So, to do is pronounced hacer, hacer, because it has an E after it. Cine, for cinema. Decisión, for decision. But otherwise, if it's not an I or an E afterwards, then the sound is a k, as in coche or chico. So how would you pronounce the number 14, which is spelt C-A-T-O-R-C-E? How would that be pronounced? Catorce, catorce, catorce. How would you pronounce the word reaction, using the rule we already know? Reaction. How would we pronounce that word? And it's spelt R-E-A-C-C-I-O with an accent N. What would that be? Reacción, reacción, reacción. If you want to say there is or there are, it's one word. Think of it as an expression. So there is or there are is I, H-A-Y, I, I. How would you say there is an accident? Hay un accidente, hay un accidente. How about there is a fly in my soup? There is a fly in my soup. And a fly is una mosca. Think of it as a shortened version of mosquito. Mosquito is small, that's what the ito means. And a mosca is a fly, M-O-S-C-A, una mosca. And soup is sopa, sopa, S-O-P-A. So how would you say there is a fly in my soup? Hay una mosca en mi sopa. Hay una mosca en mi sopa. And finally, how do you say there aren't towels in my room? We might say there aren't any towels, but they would leave out the word any. So there aren't towels in my room. What would that be? Well, let's look at the word for towels. Towels are toallas, toallas, and it's spelt Toallas, toallas. And my room is mi habitación. Habitación, Habitaci-O with an accent N. Habitación. So there aren't towels in my room. No hay toallas en mi habitación. No hay toallas en mi habitación.